In 3.2, day 2, we're going to solve equations that have complex solutions. So for the first example, we're going to solve, and we're going to leave our imaginary answers in terms of I. It doesn't mean they're all going to be imaginary, though. So x squared plus 121 equals 0. I cannot factor this. If it were a minus, I could, but I can't. So I'm going to use square root. So I'm going to minus the 121 to the other side. That will get me x squared equals negative 121. Okay, now I'll go ahead and cancel the squared. X equals, I'm going to get a positive and a negative. The square root of negative 121 is imaginary. The square root of 121 is 11, so it's a plus or minus 11i. So I still got two answers. They just happen to both be imaginary answers. Let's try the next one. Let's minus the 30 from the 18. So I get 3x squared equals negative 12, then divide by 3. And the yellow parts you can do in your head. Okay, to cancel the squared, I'm going to square root it. X equals imaginary for sure. The square root of 4 is 2, so positive negative 2i. Okay, let's try C. Minus the 6 over. 9x to the second equals 5 minus 6, negative 1. Divide by 9. Negative 1/9. Let's go ahead and square root it. X equals positive, negative. It's imaginary. And then the square root of 1/9 is actually 1 over 3. So plus or minus 1/3 I. Because it's imaginary. If it's not imaginary, don't put an I. Okay, let's do some more square root problems. And again, we're going to put our answers in standard form if they are complex. Okay, so square root. Actually, they're all complex if they are imaginary. X minus 3 equals the square root of negative 49 is plus or minus 7i. Let's add the 3 to the other side. And then when I write the answer, I'm going to put the real first and the imaginary second because that is standard form. So in this case, the order matters. Let's go ahead and try the B. 3x plus 4 squared. Divide by 3. X plus 4 squared equals negative 5. We're ready to square root. Okay, x plus 4 equals plus or minus. It's going to be imaginary. And then the square root of 5, we're going to leave it as square root 5. Okay, I'm going to subtract the 4 to the other side. When you write your answer, the real goes first. So the minus 4 goes first. And the imaginary goes second. Because it asks for standard form. Let's do a couple more and then you're going to do the practice on your own. Okay, C. I see the square root. 6 minus the 13 over. So 6x plus 5 squared. 7 minus 13, negative 6. Okay, now I've got this 6, so let's divide by 6. X plus 5 squared equals negative 1. Okay, square root, x plus 5 equals, what's the square root of negative 1? Positive, negative. Well, it's just I. You can write 1i if you want, but it's actually I. Okay, I'm going to minus the 5 to the other side, so my answer is minus 5 plus or minus I. And I did put the real first and the imaginary second. Okay, let's try the next one. Okay, I'm going to plus the 10 over. Negative 70 plus 10 is negative 60. Okay, let's divide by negative 3 now. Okay, negative 60 divided by negative 3 is positive 20. Let's keep going. Square root. X minus 1 equals plus minus. The square root of 20 is not imaginary, so no I in my answer. Can I simplify that? Sure, I can do 4 and 5. So plus or minus 2 square root 5, and then I'm going to add the 1 to the other side. So 1 plus or minus 2 root 5. Okay, so this one did not have an imaginary solution. It was a purely real solution, and that's okay. Okay, go ahead and try the practice problems. Unpause when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, here are the answers for 1 through 3. I just noticed that this should have been 2i. Okay, pause it until you're ready for the next page. Okay, here's 4 through 8. Check carefully because for number 4, this is not an imaginary number. This is a real solution. This is imaginary. This is real. So only have an I if it's an imaginary solution. Pause until you're ready for the next ones. Okay, 9 through 12. Go ahead and check your answers.